Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Let me ask you one question. Why do you do the things that you do? What's the motivation behind any act that you do? Whether it's something for yourself, whether it's something for other people. Is it because you have to do it? Is it because you actually want other people to see you do it so that you could feel successful, so that you could feel affirmed, so that you could win relationships over, so you can position yourself better? Really, that deals so much with the heart. And all throughout the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5, 6, and 7, Jesus deals with issues of the heart. He starts by helping us know how we can truly be happy and joyful in life through certain attitudes. And then he goes on section after section after section, teaching different aspects about how we should treat people, how we should be like the salt of the earth, how we should be the light of the world, how we should care for other people, how we should even love our enemies and forgive our enemies, how we should have our word be so true that people could trust us and we would be people of integrity towards other people. And today Jesus comes to another section dealing with other people, specifically the needy, but he drives home this point of why do you do what you do? Because back then, and sometimes now, people will help out those who are in need. People will help out the less fortunate, but they'll do it as a means to boast of how much they have. They'll do it as a means to boast of how good they are in their heart and character. But really the truest, the best, the purest, the most loving, the best person wouldn't care about any recognition. Actually, they wouldn't want recognition for helping other people out. They would quietly help people out. This is what Jesus talks about in Matthew chapter 6. The first passage that we come to deals with how to care for the needy and how you should act when you do. Jesus says this, starting in verse 1, I'm going to read. It says, "Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets, to be honored by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be done in secret. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you." Have you ever been in Trader Joe's and you hear that bell, that gong, right? It's sort of that type of imagery when somebody would give a large amount or a worthy amount in the temple to honor them, to acknowledge them. There would be that trumpet, that gong, and everybody would know, oh, who gave a lot? And people would look and pay attention and you would get all that recognition. In this moment, Jesus actually says, when you do the right thing, but for the wrong reasons, you will not get rewarded by God. Even though you're doing the right thing, but you're doing it with the wrong reasons. When you're giving to the needy, but you're giving so you get recognition, that's enough recognition. I think God says you don't need any more. But when you do it so secretly, so downplaying it, that in a sense, Jesus uses the imagery of one hand not knowing what the other hand is doing. Obviously, that's not literal, but it's the image of saying you do it in such a way that you're not drawing attention to yourself. You're not doing it so you can get attention. Other people might be aware, but the motive behind it is to simply give, to be a sign of love and compassion. When you give that way, the one who sees it is God. The one who will always see is God. And the reward that you got when the trumpets went off, when the bell gonged and everybody gave you the honor and the affirmation and the affection and your status rose, that honor, that reward that you got in that moment will fade. But when God gives you a reward, it is something that will never fade. He will always see what we do, but he'll also understand why we're doing what we're doing. So that's the point of this section, is to give to the needy, to give to people who need help, to elevate others higher than ourselves and to help, but to do it for the right reasons. So let me close with the same question I opened with. Why do we do what we do? It's an action and motivation that go hand in hand in God's eyes. If you have one without the other, it's not enough. But when you have the right action with the right heart, God will see and he will reward us. God bless.